Us remotely through Zoom. Please use the raise hand function if you would like to ask a question. Please wait for the mic holder to reach your location. Please state your name and affiliation and direct your question towards a specific student athlete. All right, we are now joined by Iowa State University following a 67-44 victory over Georgia in the second round of the NCAA tournament. We're joined by sophomore Lexi Donarski, sophomore Emily Ryan, and head coach Bill Fennelly. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach Fennelly. We'll then take all questions for student athletes. We have 8 minutes for questions with student athletes. We'll then dismiss them, and we'll take questions for Coach. So, Coach Fennelly, if you'd like to start us off.
Yeah, real quickly. First of all, congratulations to our men's team. Amazing, amazing. What a night for them, and what a well-deserved honor for that team and that coaching staff. Thank you to the amazing fans. Another great crowd, and when you think of the times that we played, spring break, men in Milwaukee, all that stuff, our fans were still amazing both nights. Thank you to the amazing people at Hilton, all the workers who work so hard all year long, but especially when you host the first four game, you know, they're here a lot, longer than anyone else. And I really want to congratulate our team. I just told them that, you know, everyone asks, you know, how long has it been since you've been in the Sweet 16? And I don't care. That's what you guys have to ask. I get it. But these guys don't understand that. And I don't know that I've ever wanted something professionally more in my life than to see these guys have that opportunity. And I thought they were phenomenal tonight at both ends of the floor. And sometimes your life, you earn it, things and you get it. Well, this group earned it, and they got it, and pretty damn sweet along the way.
All right, we'll now take questions for student athletes. Please raise your hand if you would like to ask a question. We'll go to Tommy here in the front.
Tommy Birch, Des Moines, Rochester, Emily, and then Lexi. It seemed like early on you guys were adamant about setting the tone. How important was a quick start tonight for you guys?
Yeah, it was huge to get going early because we had a slow start the other night. So being able to come out strong tonight was huge for us. Don't let them get any momentum. And I thought we did a good job of not letting them go on any big runs tonight, and I thought that was huge for us for sure.
Georgia's a really talented team, and so it really all started with defense. We had to set the tone, especially defensively, really early, and that just pushed us forward on offense.
When did the idea of accomplishing something this big first kind of creep into both your minds as a possibility going to the Sweet 16?
Let's start with Emily and then go to Lexi.
Yeah, honestly, I think it starts back at the end of the season last year. We were one play away from getting to where we are now, and so just knowing that all summer we worked really hard, having that in the back of our minds. And once the season started, we were just focused on winning each game and being the best we could be each night, and hoping that got us where we are right now.
Yeah, like she said, we had a lot of things to look forward to after the way that the season ended last year, and I think that just built up after a while. And when we started working out this year, it was like, this is a goal of ours. This is something that we want to do. This is something that we're capable of this year.
Rob Gray, Cedar Rapids Gazette. No! That wasn't me. So Scott, right? Anyway, for Emily and Lexi, how sweet was that moment? You guys get to embrace with a minute and a half left on the sideline, knowing you're in the Sweet 16, you're advancing, you've met that goal.
Yeah, it was a great feeling. Like we said, after the end of last year, makes it even more special for us. We've worked so hard to get here, and I'm just couldn't be more happy for this team. And the fact that we get to come back tomorrow and go to work is something that we're not going to take for granted, and I'm glad that we get to do it.
Being able to experience with the team when we're getting taken out with just a minute left and the realization just hits, and being able to experience with our families and all of our fans at home just makes it even more special for us too.
I know both you guys are known to be crazy workaholics and to get into the gym at some crazy times. How soon after last year's game were you back in the gym? I mean, did either of you take any time off, or were you back in like the next day?
Let's start with Lexi, then go to Emily, please.
It was about a week just to get my body right, because rest is still important, and I still have quite a few years of basketball ahead of me. So you need to get your body right. You need to take the rest that your body needs. But once my legs were feeling better and I was all recovered and everything, then we were right back in the gym.
Yeah, I don't remember how many days it was, but yeah, once we were ready to go, we got back in it and just worked really hard to get to this point right now.
What's kind of going through your mind during that week off, or for you, Emily, that whatever time off that you took when you're kind of resting and getting ready to start preparing for that next season?
I think it just adds the motivation that we had to compete how we did tonight. I mean, that loss sits in your head for a little while, but tonight we're able to enjoy the win with our team and our fans and all of our family here. So it's a really good feeling.
Emily, what were you kind of thinking during that time?
Yeah, being able to watch the rest of the tournament, it hurts. Seeing the next game where A&M was playing, being able to watch that, it made it hurt even more, but it caused us to work even harder. And yeah, like Lex said, being able to come back here and do it in front of our fans was incredible.
Brandon Sudge with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Emily, I mean, Georgia's a team that has had slower starts on numerous occasions this year. On the defensive end, can you take me into the game plan of what it was to stop them, like in terms of a zone and being able to stop Georgia offensively?
Yeah, for sure. I thought we came out really sharp and really focused on defense, which is something we needed to improve on after our first game of the tournament. So Lexi got a lot of early steals, and that led to easy buckets for us. And I thought that was huge for us to set the tone and make a statement early and just go from there.
Connor Ferguson, Cyclone Fanatic, for both you guys. What was it like early on in that game? You get the 9-0 lead. Georgia calls a timeout, and they show the men's team playing, and the fans kind of cheering along with them. Did that, I guess, distract you guys at all, or did it bring that much more energy into the building with each timeout that game got closer to the result?
Let's start with Emily.
Yeah, I think it definitely brought a little level extra energy to Hilton and got a little buzz going, and it made it a lot of fun. Every once in a while, just peeking up and seeing what the score was. But yeah, really, really happy for them. They've worked extremely hard to get there, and it's fun that we're both dancing still, so we're excited.
For both you guys, is there a specific time you remember during one of those timeouts looking up at the scoreboard, seeing the score at their game, and or maybe the final? I know at one point they even played the final few seconds of the men's game. Did you catch that part?
Let's go to Lexi, then Emily.
Honestly, I did not. We got a lot to focus on. This is a big game, and when we're in a huddle, we're all focused on what's going on and what play we're going to run next and what defense we're in, and there's just a lot of things that we're all focused on. So I didn't really get to enjoy knowing that the men's team won, but after the fact, I'm really happy for them and excited that we both get to be in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, like Lex said, we weren't able to really look up too much, but when you heard the crowd going crazy in the middle of a timeout, there was really no other option other than our guys are doing pretty well. So knowing that in the back of my mind is just special for them. But yeah, we were really focused, so I didn't get to watch it too much.
Do we have any more in-person questions for the student athletes? Okay, let's quickly move to remote. If you have a question, please use the raise hand function. It looks like that's all we have for you, so congratulations and thanks for your time.
Thank you, guys.
We'll now take questions for Coach Fennelly.
Sorry. Okay. Go ahead.
Tommy Birch, Des Moines, Rochester. Bill, it seemed like there were some really high expectations for this team coming into the season. When did you, I guess, realistically start thinking this is a team that maybe had a possibility to go with the Sweet 16?
Yeah, I don't know about the whole Sweet 16 thing, but I knew kind of really when we got out of Florida that our team could be decent. And not because we won 3 games, but because of the way we connected. And I've said this to you all many times. Everyone was so excited, to get out of the whole COVID year. But at the same time, now we are together. And sometimes that's not a good thing. And I thought that weekend, all right, we can compete with people. And I didn't know I didn't know tonight would happen, but I knew we would be a good team because we had really good kids that connected in a way that good teams connect. And I think when we got home from Florida, I felt like we got something we can work with.
throughout this season, you've always put up signs, used some different techniques to kind of motivate this team for every game. What was the unique motivating thing that you used for this game to, I guess, pump them up, encourage them, whatever?
To be quite honest with you, we completely stayed away from that. When we played Missouri State a few years ago, I had emails and text messages from former players, and that was not a good idea. All I did tonight was I said to them before the game, "You've earned the right to be here. You're a very, very special team. This is your last chance at Hilton. Enjoy every second of it, and let's just go play." And it was it. I mean, we were very loose at shoot around. Our demeanor was much different than it was leading up to the Arlington game. So we really didn't do anything. Like I said, sometimes when you have a team that's led by Lex, Ash, sometimes you just get the hell out of the way. And that's what we tried to do. I tried to do today. And sometimes you can tell the look in their face is like, I'm ready to go. And those three were ready to go. And I think the whole team was because of those three.
Bill, if I told you coming into this game that I think you outscored them 19-7 points off turnovers, unless that changed, and controlled the glass, including the offensive glass, pretty much the entire game, would you have thought, wow, that's probably, you're going to feel that you're going to end up in a pretty good spot?
Yeah, no question. That was, I thought our kids handled the game plan really well. You have one day to get ready, and we have not played a lot of zone this year, and we messed with it today. We actually played defense today that we didn't even practice. But that's when you have smart kids that understand the game. But we said, keep the ball in front of you, go rebound, all the stuff that we talk about. But I thought we did a really good job of keeping them out of a dribble penetration and limiting the live ball turnovers. Those are the things that we talked about, and our kids were, like you said, I thought the first 4 minutes of the game, I don't know that we looked like we were given a zone clinic the first 4 minutes of the game, and that's just not the way we play, but we felt like we had to in this game, and they were really, really good from the start.
And since you said it's our job to, chart Sweet 16s when the last
Right.
happened, but 22 years ago, the last time for Iowa State, both of you guys advanced to at least the Sweet 16. And it's also fans that take a lot of pride in getting back to that. How do you just wrap that in a nutshell while still being proud, as you clearly are, of this team and this season?
Oh, I say this all the time, and you guys get tired of me saying it, but this is a unique place. It really is, with unique people, fan base, administration. And when anytime Iowa State is on a national stage like this, in the biggest sporting event in the world, in my mind, and both teams are doing what they're doing, that's advertising to be really expensive to buy, I would guess. And it's amazing. But again, it's a tribute to how our school runs their department. And you look at all of our sports. And there's limitations that we have here, but we don't have any limitation in people and purpose. And it's a proud moment for all of us, and our kids were excited, and I'm sure TJ and his group are excited for us as well.
Yeah, Michelle Vogel, ESPN.com. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you,
Bill.
Michelle.
We had 2 number 2 seeds go down today, including one that you may have faced in Greensboro if they would have won. Can you talk about how much tougher it's become to survive the first 2 rounds of the women's tournament? And then I know you've talked a lot about Ash, but even though tonight wasn't a huge point, tonight for her, she did so many other things on the boards and everything, and what it means to you for her to get this chance to play in the Sweet 16.
No, I thank you for asking. I think it's a great opportunity for Ashley because she's earned a national profile, and it's gotten bigger as time gone on. But she plays at Iowa State. She doesn't play at Stanford or UConn or South Carolina. So people are like, yeah, she's a good player. She plays at Iowa State. Well, now she's put her team in the Sweet 16, and that's a great thing for her. And you're right. The first 2 rounds have become it's hard. It should be hard. I mean, that's what the NCAA tournament's about. And you look at other teams that have lost, and it's just it's one of those things where you really have to get your team to understand the moment. And we've been the local media here will go, here he goes again. We have been a next 40-minute team from day one. And this is an epitome of that, because one bad night, one bad shooting night, like we all know, it's done. It's not a 4 out of 7. So it's changed the game. It's changed the profile. But I'm just glad that our kids found a way to play the game tonight and respond the way they did.
Hey, Brandon, Sudley, Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Welcome to Ames. You like Ames?
Cool, yeah.
All right, we like it. Just like Atlanta, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yesterday afternoon, you spoke on Joni, Taylor, and everything. Georgia's a program who is now looking for its first Sweet 16 in a decade. You guys haven't made it since 2010, so kind of along those same paths. I don't know how much you've seen of Georgia, but can you speak to the program's outlook and Joni's outlook as a head coach?
I think Joni Taylor is one of the most outstanding, young, talented, articulate head coaches in the country. And I'm not just saying that. I said that the other day. I'm on a committee with her, and to listen to her speak about the game and what we need to do is amazing. Georgia's very lucky to have her. She loves Georgia. She's built a program there that has sustained the test of time. And when you follow a Hall of Fame coach, man, that's got to be miserable. And look at what she's done. So we're very honored to play the way we played tonight. But what Coach Taylor's doing at Georgia is they're not going away. That's for sure.
All right, we'll now move to remote. If you have a question for Coach Fennelly, please use the raise hand function. Coach, congratulations, and thanks for joining us.
Thank you, everyone. Appreciate your time. And seriously, I appreciate all the coverage and all the time this weekend. It meant a lot to our kids. Thank you.
Please state your name and affiliation before asking a question and designate which student athlete your question is directed towards. We'll start with an opening question from Coach, and then we'll take questions for the student athletes, and then we'll take questions for Coach. So we're now joined by the University of Georgia. We have senior Jenna Stady, senior Michaela Coombs, and head coach Joni Taylor. Coach Taylor, if you'd like to start with an opening statement.
Iowa State's a really, really good team. We knew that coming in. Played in a great environment tonight. And you just got to give them credit. They did what they do well, and we didn't have an answer for it. We knew that taking away the three was going to be really important. Winning the rebounding battle was going to be really important, and we didn't do either one of those things. They got off to a really quick start, and once they get a lead, it's really, really hard to get back in it because they don't turn it over, they don't foul you, they make it really tough defensively. So I thought our ladies fought to the very end, really proud of their effort, just came up short tonight.
We'll now take questions for the student athletes, and we'll start with Brandon.
Brandon Sajve, Landry Constitution. Jenna, I mean, I've dreaded asking you this question now for almost a year, but can you take me into your emotions and what it meant to you to wear that uniform and play for your head coach?
I'm just so grateful for her and be able to, for Coach Joni to take me back home and take me back another year. She didn't have to take me back. And I didn't pick Georgia first. I picked Maryland, and she welcomed me right back home. She fixed me. I was broken when I came back to Georgia. And she fixed me. And she, in this program, have made me a better person. And I will forever be grateful for her and all my teammates.
Love you.
Me too.
Hey, and then, Kayla, I mean, in terms of the game itself, I mean, when Iowa State comes out in the zone and jumps out to that 11 nothing lead, I mean, is at that point, I mean, just how tough did it get for you guys when you guys, sorry, but when Iowa State on defense was kind of taking you guys out of what you guys like to do offense?
Yeah, I think when they jump out that quickly and we had a couple of defensive breakdowns and that led to turnovers, and then they were coming down hitting threes, and it's just hard to trade threes for twos at that point, and we just couldn't get the ball in the hole in the first couple of minutes. So like Coach Joni said, it was just really hard to battle back because we dug ourselves into that hole, and they're a really good team. So it was really hard to even try and capitalize on those moments.
And then Michaela as well. I mean, I know obviously that you might have a decision to make here, but in terms of Jenna and Q and those guys who have finished it up here, I mean, can you speak on what it meant to play with Jenna and Q, and also the significance of playing under Joni as your coach?
Yeah, I mean, Coach Joni is everything to us. She's our mother figure, so just being able to play for her is always just a blessing. And, I mean, we go out and play our hearts out for her every day, so to come up short, it really sucks because, like, I mean, we do everything for her, so it really is hard trying to take this all in. And as far as Jenna and Q, like, they're going to be some of my best friends for life, so seeing them have to go out like this, like, that's really hard. But to speak to what they've done to this program, there's no words. They've done everything they can possibly do. Their legacy that they've left here is just amazing, and we can't thank them enough for that.
And the last thing I have, I mean, for both you guys, I mean, obviously, you guys had some tournament appearances. You guys got to this point, but can you speak on the culture of this program and why there's a positive outlook for this program to get itself to the Sweet 16 eventually?
I think just I think we just left leadership, and you know, every day I was there in practice, I really just, you know, I would talk to the post, talk to Jill, and tell her, like, this is what you need to do, like, and just kind of give her the confidence. And I think that they know how much I love this program. I wouldn't have came back here another year if I didn't love this program, and I think they just know that stay the course, and if things aren't going your way, just put your head down and work. And I think every one of them is going to play so hard, and I think that's just something that we left, me and Q, Michaela, Mal, because of the seniors that we've had before us, we wanted to leave behind. Don't have any regrets. Play your hardest, and
I think speaking on the culture of the program, we just have like a really big family environment. So just pushing each other every day and just coming out, just playing as hard as we can. As far as like we're gonna get it together. It's just been a couple of like hard second round games, I guess you'd say. But I think just going back and building on this and just finding a way to get through these tough times is what we're focusing on.
Okay, we'll now move to remote and take a question from McLean Baxley.
Question for Michaela. When you got here in 2019 to now, where would you say the program and the team as a whole has kind of improved, whether on or off the court, from then to now?
I think on the court, we've just gradually got better year by year. I don't think anybody, especially last year and this year, expected us to be where we were. So continuously just working in the off season and shocking people throughout these seasons is what we're trying to focus on. And culture-wise, I think it's just like continuously building on like just a family environment. I mean, these are my sisters, and just continuing to play for each other and just having that love throughout everybody is what we focus on.
Any questions for both Jenna and Michaela? There's been tough losses this season and in years past. I mean, how do y'all kind of cope with loss, but season-ending loss like this? What do the next week or so look like?
Let's start with Jenna and then go to Michaela.
Can you ask it again? I'm sorry, I was confused.
Yeah, just from last year, and then there's been losses this season. Obviously, how do y'all kind of cope and compartmentalize a season-ending loss like tonight?
I mean, put your head down and work, and come to practice the next day, and fix everything, figure out what it is, and just keep putting your head down and working. And I think some parts of the season we would lose a game, and then we come to practice, and I don't think not anyone on the court wasn't wanting to fix what it was that we were doing wrong. Yeah.
Just to repeat what Jenna said, basically, I think it's just a matter of just using it as fuel for the next year and just putting our head down and working, like she said. That's all we can do at this point.
That's all the time we have with the student athletes. Thank you so much for joining us. All right, we will now take questions for head coach Joni Taylor.
Hey, Coach.
Hey, Brandon.
To see those emotions right there, and I can't imagine what that's like as a head coach for somebody who's been in this program for five of your 7 years as coach, who's helped establish the culture. Can you speak on what it meant to coach Jenna Stady, and how do you say you're by, I guess, her playing on the court?
Yeah. We have some really amazing young women in our program, and that's intentional. We're very picky and selective about who we bring in, and this is why. In regards to Jenna, I told our team in the locker room, Jenna and Q for that matter, they made a decision to come to Georgia when we weren't hot, when we were building something. Q was our first commitment in our recruiting class, 2017 recruiting class, and then Jenna came right along with her after she transferred, and they stayed the course. They dug in. It wasn't always pretty. It was great times, not so great times, but they believed in what we want to build at the University of Georgia. And they sacrificed their bodies, they've sacrificed their time. They could have left last year. Both been drafted, and they made the decision to come back. And so, of course, you're going to miss their impact on the floor. That's stating the obvious. But just who they are as people, how they lead, how they love, and how they represent the University of Georgia, their families, the institution. It's something that I certainly know that our younger players have watched and want to emulate, and will continue to carry on the legacy that they tried to establish at Georgia.
And the next thing, kind of like I asked them, I know that you guys as a program haven't gotten over that hurdle to get to the Sweet 16 in some time, but like you said, with you guys have coming in, with the culture you guys have built, how optimistic are you guys that you guys can get over that hurdle, get over that eventually, and as soon as you can?
No, absolutely. It's devastating that we haven't done it already. It's what we want. You come to Georgia to not be in the NCAA tournament, but to make deep runs in the tournament, and we haven't done that. And that's something that we've got to continue chipping away at. I think as you look at what we've done and who we've recruited and who we continue to bring in, our talent has gotten better every single year, and that continues next year. Now, you've got to replace some leadership. That's not going to be easy. So it's just staying the course, figuring it out piece by piece, and then learning from some of the things that have deterred us from getting past the second round.
And then in terms of the game itself, similar rebounding numbers, similar shooting percentage. Can you pinpoint what it was that kind of got away from you guys this evening?
Yeah, turnovers to start the game. We turned it over, and they converted 13 points off of our turnovers in the first half. We had some miscommunication. They had wide open threes. And listen, they're very, very good. They stretch you. Everybody shoots the three. They've got an All-American on their roster. Lexi's really good. Emily is a great floor general and can score it. And so they stretch you. And we every time we try to chip into it, they make a big play. Emily would make a three. Lexi would do something. Ashley would go get a good rebound or score it. And so we got to give them credit. They were on their home floor. They had a great crowd behind them. And we turned it over, and we didn't make enough plays. And every time we tried to crawl into that lead, they stepped up and made a really, really big play.
And the last thing I have, as a head coach, we spoke about your staff continuity. We spoke about your culture time and time again. But how do you kind of take this as your next chapter as a head coach, and how you've established your own career here at Georgia? Are you happy with where you're at, where your program's at?
Yeah, obviously I wish I was still playing, right? But in terms of who we are and what we've built and the people we have around us, I couldn't be happier. We have great people in our program. Anybody that touches our program lead with integrity, with a pure heart, and want to represent the University of Georgia in the right way. So I'm extremely proud of the people we have, the players, our staff, our support staff. Our administration is amazing. So yes, I'm very happy with Georgia and where we are, and that's on us to figure out how to get past the second round.
All right, we'll now move to remote and start with a question from Mike Griffith.
Joni, Bill said that Iowa State played some defenses they hadn't even practiced. How much was the zone? How effective was that, do you think? And how much do you attribute that to the start that y'all had?
Mm-hmm. We knew they were going to come out zone. They're really stingy defensively. We knew that coming in. We knew they were going to pack the paint, dare us to shoot the ball, and make it really tough inside for us to get paint touches, whether it was by penetration or getting it to our bigs. And we just, at times, I think we rushed shots. At times, I think we turned it over and didn't stay the course in terms of making them move enough to get it inside and have a really good inside-out game. At one point, they went to a triangle and two. That's something that we've seen as well. And again, we had some looks and didn't make it, but credit them. They rebounded. They boxed us out. They didn't let us go get second chance opportunities. But we expected them to come out and play a zone. Listen, they're really, really good. They've played teams similar to us in their conference, and so when you watch those games, you kind of had a good idea of what we were going to expect tonight, and they answered the call.
We'll now go to McLean Baxley.
Coach, how do you, as a head coach, kind of console this team, both like tonight in the fight home, but also like the next week or so, as you kind of conclude this season?
Yeah, it's really tough in the locker room, right? You've got young ladies who really, really care, and they feel like they've let us down, and that's not the case. Like they've gone out there and they've competed all year and played really, really tough. So it's about making sure that they understand their worth and what moving and turning the next page and getting ready for next year. We'll obviously take some time off and let them refocus and focus academically and rest their bodies, and then we'll have individual meetings and talk about how we want to get better and turn the page and get ready for next year.
Back to Mike Griffith.
Yeah, Joni, I know you're not on the NCAA rules committee and you're not going to change how the women's tournament's run, but just how difficult is it to play a team on their home floor in tournament play?
Well, it's called a home court advantage for a reason, right? It's a great environment to play in. You want to have fans in the stands. It's a great environment. You know, what our challenge is to be one of those top 4 seeds so that we can play at home. And that's what our conversation is. How do we put ourselves in a position so that we are playing at home and create the same environment that Ohio State has, that you see for these first round and second round games when they're playing on their home court. I think last year when we were all in the bubble, there was some parity to that, if you want to say some fairness to that. But we are where we are. I think there's advantages to both. Sometimes when you looked in the past and there was neutral sites, it wasn't as packed. When you have a round of 16 and you're playing at home, those teams are for the most part going to kind of fill the arena. And so I think it'll be interesting moving forward to see what happens. But the rules are what they are right now, so our focus can't be going into a tough environment. Our focus has to be being one of those top 4 seeds so that we're at home bringing people into a tough environment.
Last question will go to McLean Baxley.
Michaela kind of talked a bit about getting back in the gym and kind of preparing for next year. Has she or Mallory kind of hinted about a possible return for the next season?
We haven't discussed it yet.
Coach, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
A recording of this press conference will be available in the NCAA